All right, guys, today we are talking about the top 4 things that have changed the way that I do business as it relates to technology. Some of these you guys may have heard of, some of them you may even be using, but I bet most folks are not using all 4 of these. So without further ado, here are the 4. Number 1, behavioral automation. Now, behavioral automation radically changed the game for me. I was somebody that I started my career and I was just blowing up the phones. I would, I called expireds, I called canceled, I called for sale by owners. But the way that I got a hold of the folks that were the hottest prospects were I just waited for them to come off market or waited them to list their own home, and then I was blowing up the phones every day. That completely changed when I was able to utilize my database and know who exactly up to the minute needed to be reached out to because of the behavioral automations that we had in place. Now, if this is something that you don't have, number 1, only ways to do this is to have a really, really competent and capable CRM. I am a big fan. I personally use Sierra. I have used, though, pretty much most of them out there, Boomtown, Commissions Inc., Follow Up Boss. So I'm very familiar with many of them that are out there. I like Sierra, but that's not to say that they're the best. It's just the one that I landed on and makes the most sense for my business. Truly, the CRM that makes the most sense for your business is going to be the one that you use. That's the most critical piece. It can have all the functionality in the world, but if you don't use it, it's not going to do you any good. But having one of those that has the ability to do behavioral automations, basically creating to-dos for you or reminding you that you should reach out to this person after, let's say, they have viewed the same property 5 times, right? Being able to know that and know that, hey, today they looked at it for the 5th time, I probably ought to pick up the phone and see if they've had any thoughts of buying a house. So behavioral automation, that's the first one. Number 2 would be targeted ads. And being able to pinpoint who you want to speak to and doing so with a compelling message for that individual. So for instance, being able to send out a message that says, hey, if you have a house in Ashburn Village, look, this message is for you. And knowing that that message is going exclusively to people living in Ashburn Village. That is a powerful thing to be able to do. And it's something that at the beginning of my career really didn't exist. We used to have to do things like buy newspaper ads, send out postcards to the entire neighborhood. But if you do really targeted ads, that can be really powerful because you can drive traffic back for the people that you're actually looking to speak with. So these hyper-targeted ads, if you learn how to do those, it can be really powerful. If it's something that you don't want to do, we actually have a product. I'm not here to sell it to you, but it is something that we use for hyper-targeted advertising for listings. If you'd like more information on that, I'm happy to give it to you. Just reach out to me direct, DM me, shoot me an email, give me a text, whatever. Happy to talk to you more about it. Number 3. Webinars have changed the game in my business. Now, webinars are such a critical piece of this because if you've heard me talk at all about the way that the landscape has shifted for consumers, you know that I'm a big believer that we are going away from the old way that things worked, where, again, you could just blow up somebody's phone. Eventually, they would want to speak to you. We're going into an economy, and I believe we're already there for the most part, where you have to earn the trust and rapport of the consumer before they ever agree to meet with you. And there are very limited ways by which you can do that. And one of them, I think, is webinars. So you can host a webinar where the information is a little bit evergreen. In other words, I mean, it's good today, it's good next week, it's good a month from now. And so you can run these webinars. It can be maybe market updates or maybe how to buy a house, how to sell a house, like that type of content. You can invite your entire database. You can post them on social media. And people can come get to know you and see if you're able to not just talk the talk, but walk the walk as well before they ever agree to meet with you. And so that's the really powerful piece to this. And the cool thing is that if you do the webinar, you just do it one time and then you have the recording there. So people can come back and they can watch it on their own time, which again is another piece of the puzzle, in my opinion. The way that the consumers are moving is they want content on their schedule. They, just like everybody else, have gotten used to being able to say watch TV where they DVR it and then happen to watch it whenever they want to watch it, fast forward through the parts that don't make sense, and they have control. And so the most important part of this is, yes, hosting the webinar and giving great content, but then making it available for people on their schedule. And number 4 way that technology has literally changed the way that I do business, this is one I guarantee you all have. Email marketing. You have the ability to send emails. I neglected this for a very long time. Way too long. I had coaches and trusted advisors telling me I needed to get into the email marketing game, and I just didn't believe them. As I've gotten more and more into email marketing and understanding that this is an amazing resource to be able to market to many. Many of you are seeing this video through email marketing that we do. This is a really powerful thing. And the key to it, though, is you have to give good content. So if you're simply putting out there, again, just listed or just sold, people don't care. You figure people are buying a house only maybe one every 10 to 15 years in some instances. And so if you continue sending them every week or every month or whatever, the things that you just listed or just sold, they don't care. But what is good content, whether they own a house, whether they are renting, whether they're planning on buying or selling or living there forever, everybody likes to know what's happening in the market. So being able to give good content coupled with really good analysis, man, this is stuff that's really good content, and it's going to be stuff that keeps your email database engaged and wanting to check out your content rather than wanting to click that unsubscribe button. Again, those 4 things that have revolutionized the way that I do my business. Number 1, behavioral automation. Number 2, targeted advertising. Number 3, using webinars. And lastly, number 4, effective email marketing.